Coffee Monday is more than a podcast. It's a movement to reshape the way we approach Mondays and the week ahead. It's about embracing the reality that work doesn't have to dominate our lives. It's about finding that sweet spot where passion, purpose, and a cup of motivation connect. Filmed and recorded in California's Central Valley, join me, your host, Ray Pardini-Matson, as I invite thriving professionals to share their stories of how they're crafting a life that's both vibrant and balanced. On this episode of Coffee Monday, we're talking all things style, confidence, and fashion trends with Brooke Merlo Valenzuela, founder and stylist behind the wardrobe department. After years in the fashion industry and living in LA, Brooke brought her expertise back home to the Central Valley, where she's now helping clients to find their style and feel their best. As a personal stylist, color analyst, image consultant, wife, and mom of two, she's passionate about empowering confidence from within those four walls of your closet. Tune in as we chat about trends you need to know and dismiss, defining your style, what a capsule wardrobe is, the power of color, and how to make your wardrobe work for you. Let's get into it. So happy to have you here, friend. This is so fun.
I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Brooke Merlo Valenzuela of the wardrobe department, stylist, color analyst, image consultant, and I am just so thrilled that you are bringing your concept to Fresno, and I cannot wait to talk about it more. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to dive in.
Yeah. So we go way back. We knew each other in high school.
Yeah.
Similar friends, mutual friends, but like life, right? We both kind of did the boomerang thing, left and came back. So tell the listeners, for those who don't know, about what your connection is to the Central Valley.
Yeah, absolutely. So born and raised in Fresno, had a wonderful childhood here. I absolutely loved growing up here. Super close to my family. My whole family lives here, extended family and everything. So it was a great childhood being around everyone.
So fun.
Yeah. Had a wonderful high school experience too. I was super involved in leadership and student council and all that fun stuff. Always really driven. With the goal of getting into a great college.
Yeah.
Even though I loved living here, I always knew I wanted to go away and try something new.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually applied to USC and I didn't get in, but that's a story for another day. Ended up going to UC Irvine in Orange County, which was wonderful. It's
Great
essentially
school.
in Newport.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, great school, great location. And had a great time there too. Was in a sorority, did all the college things.
So fun.
At the time, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I've always been really creative and attracted to beautiful things, whether it be fashion or interior design. And that kind of comes from my mom. She has heavily influenced me in that way.
I love it.
And UC Irvine, there's a lot of really strong science programs.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my mom actually went there for interior design.
Did she? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I did not know that.
And lived in Newport and did the whole thing. So fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that. We'll have to chat if I run into her.
Yeah.
So I started exploring and researching fashion programs or fashion careers rather. And I quickly realized that I was probably going to have to get some sort of education in that way. So I looked into studying abroad, and I had the opportunity to go to Paris and study fashion, which is the dream, right? I'm super grateful to have had that experience.
Yeah, I love that.
So that's when I got my certification in image consulting. I also studied trend forecasting there, which it was the best place to do it because a lot of our trends come from Paris. I mean, it's the home of couture. All the runway shows are there, and that's where trends are essentially born. So really...
That's really interesting. And that was after you graduated college you went, or during?
It was during my senior year.
Your senior year. So did you study abroad or take a break? Wow,
Yeah,
very
I studied
cool.
abroad. Yeah, so
Amazing.
3 months and...
Yeah. Love that.
Perfect amount of time.
Trend forecasting. How does that even happen? How does that work?
Yeah, so it's essentially tapping into how trends are born. And it's funny because a lot of our trends are born from what's going on in our economy and our just culture in general. And a lot of designers are inspired by what's going on. They'll create a collection and debut it on the runway. So
Yeah.
those are really exaggerated versions of the trends, right? And then retailers will take note and kind of water it down and deliver it to the mass market. So that's kind of how the very quick version.
Yeah.
of how
So
things
unless
are.
you're like a celebrity or somebody that's like kind of in that high fashion space, you typically don't wear runway to streetwear, correct? Like that makes so much sense when you put it that way. So we see like concepts of trends like bohemian coming back or when monochromatic kind of revived itself, but they are not really using those runway looks for streetwear. That makes sense.
Yep, you're exactly right.
Huh.
So we may see the exact runway look on a celebrity who's going to a fabulous red carpet event. But for us, kind of average folks,
Yeah.
it's a version of the trend or inspired by the trend.
Wow. So how long did you live in Paris for?
It was about 3 months.
Yeah, wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Learned a lot, I'm sure. Do you know French? Did you speak French?
No. I do
How
not
was
speak French.
that?
Definitely tough. This is
bet.
so random, but there were only, I want to say, like 3 or 4 girls in the program from California.
Oh, wow.
My roommate was from Madeira,
Shut up.
and she spoke fluent French. So I was like, come on, girl, you're going to be my
on.
best friend.
No way. Do you still keep in touch with her?
Not really, but she's an amazing designer. She was studying fashion design.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
Valley Girls Unite.
I know.
So cool.
Totally.
So then you go back to Irvine or
Yep.
what was?
So graduated. From there, I did dabble in the styling world a little bit. I quickly learned that you have to have a really tough skin and you have to be willing to work for free for years. And I just was not in that position, unfortunately. So I knew someone who worked at a global fashion brand in LA, and she recommended me for an assistant merchandiser position. And my career kind of took off from there. I found that merchandising and buying was a really good fit for me. It's a great way, great position because you get to use both sides of your brain, like the analytical, mathematical side, but also the creative side.
Yeah,
And you need to be in
fun.
touch with trends and things like that.
So you're buying for retail, is that it?
Exactly.
Very cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
So it was kind of the age-old story of working your butt off. I would work like 50-hour weeks, just crazy. But that's what we did at the time, you know?
Totally.
Things have
I
changed.
feel that. I feel that. I did that. I look back, I'm like, how?
How?
I don't know that my body would survive that right now.
No, I mean, absolutely
I mean,
not.
really, literally from sun up to sundown.
Right. And then add in the traffic of LA.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you can
Or in the at the time, around our early 20s, I mean, we went to happy hour after work, which was more like 8 o'clock p.m. And then maybe went back to work, maybe not, and then did it the next day. I'm like, how? I don't know. I
wild.
look back. Yeah.
I know. Wild
Wow.
times.
Yeah, wild times, but we survived. So that's awesome. And how long were you at the company for? Or in merchandising?
I jumped around a little bit, but
Yeah.
all in all, my buying merchandising career was about 8 years.
Wow. Amazing.
So yeah, a long time. It was, I started from the bottom and worked my way up, and I had a lot of wonderful mentors along the way. The fashion industry is definitely toxic. It's like what you hear about, Devil Wears Prada mentality for sure, but I had great people in my corner, and that's definitely how I survived.
That's great. I also feel like from my perspective in having friends work in the industry and connecting with the industry and my jobs over the years in LA, that the fashion industry as a whole, those that work in it, is like super tight knit.
Absolutely.
And they very much I mean, it's a kind of a matter. But they almost critique people that aren't in it, like, or that try to come in it. Because I remember considering a career and doing like it wasn't an interview, but it was like a meeting with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was for guests, and she pretty much ripped me apart. She was like, this isn't like a funsies hobby sort of thing. This is like a grind. Like this is, Did you
Yes.
feel that?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
actually, I worked for Guess for 6 years.
Oh,
so
wow.
I can
Yeah.
really relate to
Yeah,
that.
she was brutal, man.
It was
okay.
brutal. It was brutal,
Yeah.
for sure. But it toughened me up. I learned
bet.
to be such a hard worker, which I think is so important.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, came out of there stronger. Absolutely.
So let me ask you this, because with the creative mind that you have, and a lot of creatives receive critiques all the time, because creativity is such an objective thing, right? What advice would you give a creative that is given criticism or feedback? Like, have you always had a tough skin, or did you have to kind of learn the hard way? You know what I mean?
No, I definitely am more of a sensitive person. I think that's why automatically I realized I probably wasn't going to make it in the styling world, specifically in Los Angeles. Like I said, I had great mentors who were really rooting for me and believed in me, and that helped so much. But I think essentially, when you're given harsh criticism, you have to take it and learn from it. And I appreciate criticism because not everyone's going to be that honest with you, right? So I think it's about diving in, internally and learning from it.
I agree. I feel like too sometimes, because you're, starting your business now, which I'm so excited to talk about, and I have my small business, it's like sometimes you're only one person with one opinion. Like, having somebody to sort of bounce ideas off of is sometimes your clients, right? To your point, to get the feedback from them. Like, is this helpful for you? Am I going in the right direction? So that's good.
Yeah.
You kind of have an open mind to that. So you were in LA for what, like 10 years-ish?
It was like 12 total,
12.
Southern California,
Yeah. And then when did you come home?
Yeah, so while I was climbing the corporate ladder, I met my husband, and I shouldn't say met because we actually went to high school together.
Which, did you guys know each other in high school? I don't know if I've asked you this.
We did. We were like acquaintances.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, so we reconnected at a friend's wedding in Fresno.
Cute, fun.
He was living in LA, and he was actually in fashion technically at the time. He owned an apparel manufacturing company. So the stars just aligned. We had so much in common. We both love food. We're big foodies and love like fun, bougie experiences. So it just kind of clicked. Yeah.
I love it. That's so great. I feel like it's a timing thing too. Michael and I, same thing. Timing, for sure.
Absolutely. And dating in LA is miserable.
Miserable.
So it was refreshing that I knew who he was. I knew he had an amazing family. So things happened pretty quick just because we kind of skipped all that stuff.
Yeah. You got the Fresno vetted. You're like, I know you're good people.
Exactly.
My
Yeah.
parents know your parents, sort of thing.
Right.
Oh my gosh, it's so true though.
So true.
So, do you dated in LA or SoCal?
Yeah,
And
so
then
dated in LA, got engaged and married in 2017. We moved to Pasadena, bought a home there,
amazing.
and welcomed our first baby in 2020 at the height of the pandemic.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
So-
And then you moved home after or
Yeah,
during?
so flash forward 2 years, got pregnant with Isabella, my youngest, and we were like, oh, what now? We were heavily relying on nannies.
Yeah.
Home was small.
Yeah.
We needed more space. Also, I missed my mom, we missed our families. And
Yeah.
that's when we really started considering moving back home. That was never an option before. Like, I remember I had a full-on sit-down with my mom. Like, Mom, look, we're never moving back, because
She was probably heartbroken.
I didn't say
Bless.
it that harshly,
Yeah.
but yeah, she was always holding on to the dream.
Aw.
And yeah, look, never say never, right? 'Cause here
Exactly.
we are.
I know. I literally just had that conversation with somebody how I was the same way. And it wasn't like I was like anti Fresno. I just never thought that it was a part of my path
100%.
with my career and my life. Like, and to be honest, like I missed my family, but I didn't miss Fresno, like when I was living in LA. I loved it.
Absolutely.
I loved my life there. So I relate to that a lot. And yeah, never say never, man. Now we're raising our families here and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. I mean, it was a tough decision, not a tough decision, but a part of me felt like I was giving up my career moving here.
You think?
Yeah, I really felt that because there's not the traditional fashion jobs here or opportunities. And essentially, we were moving back so I could maybe try to be more present for the girls and be more involved in the day-to-day. And I did do that for a while. I took some time off, especially after I had Isabella. And
Good. What was that like? Because you probably pretty extreme, right? You're going from like crazy hours, very demanding career, living in a very high-paced area to Fresno, pandemic times, 2 kids, not taking time off of work. What was that like?
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit of a shock.
I bet.
I had a hard time for a while, especially too. I have a wonderful group of girlfriends here, and they're our mutual friends. But I hadn't really kept in touch with them, and they've been so wonderful and welcomed me back with open arms. But at that time, I just didn't have my like village. I didn't feel like I had found that here yet.
Yeah. And it's harder making friends as an adult, don't you think?
100%.
Like with school, it's like you have built-in friends. You go to school with these people.
Totally.
You go to college with these people. If you did the Greek system, you're in a sorority with these people. You live with them. It's like as an adult, you actually have to be intentional and make the effort to be a friend, right?
Yes, I feel that.
And then you have kids, and they're your number one priority. So it's like when do you have free time to go have drinks with the gals?
Right.
You
don't,
know?
really.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. You do play dates.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So after doing some soul searching and taking some time off, I realized the stay-at-home mom life is not for me.
So here's the deal. The date for Mom's Time Out this year has changed because let's be real, as moms, we have the right to change our minds too, right? So mark your calendars for Wednesday, May 7th. Yes, I said Wednesday. Why the change? Because we want to give you your Mother's Day weekend back, a chance to spend time with loved ones. But don't worry, this midweek celebration is going to be just as fabulous, if not more so. So stay tuned because in the coming weeks, we'll be spilling all of the details on the exciting changes and fun surprises we have planned. To the girls in my hometown, you're not going to want to miss this. So mark your calendars for May 7th and we'll see you there. Visit @MumsyMedia on Instagram for more details.
If you're like me, your day doesn't truly start until you've had that first cup of coffee. Dutch Bros coffee, that is. From their signature cold brews and nitro-infused delights to their classic lattes and frothy brevets, Dutch Bros has something for every coffee lover. And if you're not into coffee, no problem. They've got Rebel energy drinks, teas, sodas, and even some great kid-friendly options for the whole family to enjoy. I know I love going through the drive-thru with my kids. They love getting their kids' Dutch cups, and it's a win-win for everyone. But Dutch Bros isn't just great about their drinks. They're very involved in their community. Every visit feels like catching up with a friend who knows your order and remembers your name. So next time you're looking for a little pick-me-up, I highly recommend swinging by your local Dutch Bros coffee, and you can follow along online at Dutch Bros Fresno on Instagram. The beautiful floral centerpiece you see on our shows is styled by floral artist Darcy Hovsepian of DH Floral, and the flowers themselves are actually grown and sourced from local flower farms right here in our Central Valley, thanks to the creation of the San Joaquin Flower Collective. As the first and only source for 100% locally grown flowers in the valley, the San Joaquin Flower Collective's biggest mission is to reduce the need for imported flowers for flower growers and lovers alike. By streamlining the ordering process with an online shopping experience, prioritizing collaboration over competition, and raising awareness for our local flower movement through weekly flower pop-ups on Wednesdays from 10 to 12. They're changing the way farm-grown flowers are bought and sold in the Valley. As a wholesaler, a retailer, or just a flower lover, you can follow along at SJ Flower Collective on Instagram for their latest happenings and info on their weekly Wednesday Fresh Bloom pop-ups.
Mad respect to those who feel that is a good fit for them. Seriously. But I felt like in order for me to be the most fulfilled and happy version of myself, I needed to embrace that career-oriented person that I am. So I just started thinking and praying and all the things. You know, I wanted to do something in fashion. What does that look like here in Fresno? And I started talking to other moms, and I realized they were saying a lot of the same things that I was feeling when it comes to fashion, which is, I'm a mom now. My whole life has changed. My body's different.
I was going to say the body change is probably the biggest, I feel.
Yes.
Because let's be honest, you can't wear some of the same things that you can if you want to, great. But like some of them just may not fit you the same.
Right. They may not fit you the same, or it may not feel like you anymore. I think when we become moms, we kind of birth a whole new version of ourselves as well, right? So I started thinking, I'm like, I feel like I could really help women with that side of things here. I have the background in styling and all of that. So yeah, that's how the wardrobe department was born, essentially.
I love it. So you thought, gosh, you're fulfilling a need, first of all, that you saw firsthand. But also, had you ever done any sort of other business for yourself? Had you ever started a business, because that's a big leap.
Yes, absolutely. So no.
Okay.
My husband has had probably 4 or 5 businesses since we've been together. So
I love that.
He is an entrepreneur at its finest.
I love it.
And I always looked at that and was in awe of it. How do you take that leap? And I was such a, corporate America girl. I loved that comfort. But now that I'm on the other side, honestly, moving here gave me a little bit more flexibility to explore. And a little more time, and I have help from my parents with my kids. So it's I kind of am able to pursue that part of me more so than I would have there in Los Angeles.
100%. I've said this so many times and shared this with so many guests over the course of the last couple of years, but I will say, and this is just validation for that Fresno is one of the best places to start a business. It gives you the tools and the resources to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it does have to do with the approachability of our area and the fact that we can, whether we're owning or renting a home or, just the cost of living for some, that are potentially wanting to start a business is approachable for people.
Totally.
And to your point, and a little less saturated, honestly.
Yes.
Because, in LA, a stylist is a dime a dozen, no offense.
100%.
In here, literally, you're one of few, very few.
Absolutely.
And so how cool is that?
Yeah.
To be able to expand your brand and create a concept that you probably, maybe to your point, wouldn't have had the means to or even the thought to.
Right. Or the courage.
Or that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel so grateful that
amazing.
I'm here. It was a journey to get here, but I'm in such a good place and so happy. And I absolutely love being able to connect with women. That is what I absolutely love the most. And just help women regain their confidence and find their own unique style, and embrace self-love. My whole thing is getting dressed to me is a form of self-care, and it's oftentimes overlooked. But when you have the right tools in your tool chest, or in this case, your closet, when you have the right pieces, it becomes effortless and almost like a creative therapeutic experience.
1000% agree. Also, there's research that shows that you are more productive when you get dressed for the day.
100%.
And a lot of that's coming out post COVID, right? Like we're used to, let me do a business shirt on top and sweatpants on bottom and Zoom all day and sort of thing. And you know what? Sometimes that's great for people, but research actually shows that when you present yourself professionally, when you get fully dressed, you're more productive. And I find that so fascinating. Probably more efficient.
Yes.
Probably more, and I think it goes back to confidence, right?
Totally. When you feel good about yourself and what you're wearing, you hold yourself differently. And I believe you move through the world differently. And that can open up so many doors. Like one of my clients who's in LA, she got let go from her job and was considering a complete career change, industry change. And so we worked together to build her a really professional, stylish wardrobe that made her feel amazing. And she came back to me 6 months later, and not only had she got the job, but she also met the love of her life.
Aww.
And I was like, it's not just about the clothes.
Yeah.
She was carrying herself different, and she was embracing the woman that she wanted to be. You know what I mean?
I love that so much.
Yeah,
so
that was
much.
a great story. And
I love that. So I love the name Wardrobe Department. I love your branding.
thank you.
Beautiful.
That means a
Chef's
lot.
kiss. Chef's kiss. So tell us about like your different service offerings. So you've kind of touched on like how you support your clients, but for those that have never worked with a stylist before or are intrigued by the concept of it, let's talk through a little bit about like what the different options would potentially look like in working with the wardrobe department.
Absolutely. So there are 3 ways that we can work together. The first is styling. So that could mean a single outfit if you have a special event. It could mean you're going on a vacation and you need some new outfits for that. I can help with that. It could mean a capsule wardrobe, which I think we'll maybe get into the details in a bit. And then, like a photo shoot or a branding opportunity.
Love that.
And the list goes on.
Like weddings, we've talked about weddings. Absolutely. I love that idea. I wish that was the thing when I was getting married. My gosh, because you have all the festivities. You have the bachelorette, the showers, the potentially engagement party, potentially the welcome party, the rehearsal dinner, the wedding. I mean, how cool and fun would that be to like have you help style a bride? I love that.
There's so many decisions to make when you're a bride, and also you want to look your best. So yes, I can absolutely help with all of that.
So cool. And to your point, decision fatigue is a real thing. I feel that so hard where I just like, first of all, obviously want your professional opinion on things, but I don't even know what I want to do. 100%. So, yeah.
There's so much information coming at us from all angles. I read once that we see I want to say it was 200 to 300 ads a day. It's wild.
I'm not surprised out though.
No, not at all. So we see an influencer on Instagram that we love and we love their outfit and we order it and we get it on and we're like, wait a second. I feel like I'm in a costume or this just does not feel like me, So
it doesn't fit you right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just helping you tap into what really is for you. I think that's really important.
So let's dive into that a little bit because you make a good point of our world of social media, which is very real and approachable and I shouldn't say approachable, but it's the reality of our world. And it's like squirrel, right? Like, ooh, I like that skirt. Ooh, I like that top. Ooh, I like that sweater. You don't even freaking know what you're buying these things for, but you do, right? Or don't, or think about it, or whatever. And we've had some discussions about this before, and I would love you to share your insight into, how to sort of not be distracted by all the things and kind of focus and define what your style truly is.
Right. Yeah.
You have a strategy for that, right?
I do. So when it comes to trends specifically, I I have a love-hate relationship with trends. I really love a trend, but I feel like it needs to resonate with your own defined style. And there's a stylist I follow on Instagram named Allison Bornstein. She has this amazing method. It's called the 3-word method. And it's essentially defining your style in 3 words. So that could be, like for me, it could be classic, oversized, and I like a little touch of like Americana influence.
Is that yours? I'm curious. What are your 3 words?
Honestly, I have commitment issues, so I have not defined.
Hey, look in the mirror on that one, girl.
It's so true. I'm like,
But
practice
that would
what
be
you
hard. 3 words.
Yeah.
Dang. But also really freeing, right? Once you nail those down. So the goal is that when you buy pieces or consider, those are within those 3? Is that the thought?
Exactly.
Cool.
So for
Very
me,
cool.
I haven't found like the perfect fit yet, I don't think. But I can help. It's almost easier when you're looking at someone else. For me,
100%. Okay, so a mutual friend of ours who's a client of yours who you've worked with, she mentioned she did this with you, and she so clearly said the 3 words, and I was like, wow, nailed it.
yeah, it's
Nailed it.
once you hit them, and some people are more obvious than others, you know. But yeah, so you're getting dressed, you're shopping. If you're feeling, or you're scrolling Instagram,
Right.
If you see an outfit that you like,
Right.
you run through your 3 words. It doesn't have to, the outfit doesn't have to hit all of the 3 words, but you want to get like 2, maybe even 1 depending. But that's how you're really getting a cohesive, consistent style. There's those people out there like, all of our style icon like Morgan Stewart or Mary-Kate and Ashley or Hailey Bieber. You can almost guess what they're going to wear.
Kelly Rutherford.
Yeah, yes.
I love her.
I know you love her.
Goals.
Yes, totally.
I mean, Blake Lively before she got crazy. I love her style. I'm not going to lie.
Totally. So that's how you get that consistent style.
Yeah. So, I don't want to give away all your cards. That's why people obviously hire you and utilize your services. But you have a practice that you work through that with them, and get to what those 3 words are.
Totally. Cool. So that would be in a style discovery session, which is kind of like an entry price point session we could do together.
Okay.
And it would bleed into the closet edit, which is my second type of service offering.
Okay. So we have special occasion styling, essentially, which could be a photo shoot, could be an event. The list goes on.
Yep.
And then we have the kind of defining your style, which bleeds into the closet edit.
Yep.
Okay.
So closet edit, there's a few different variations that I have based on the level of service that you're needing. There's a mini, a full, and then something I call the total revamp, which is essentially redoing it all. A full transformation.
How freeing would that be? Gosh, I need to do that.
I know.
Okay. And this, I'm kind of going off on a little bit of a tangent, but it's related, I promise. What are your thoughts on the rule of like, if I haven't worn it in a year, it's gone? Or 6 months or whatever. Like, what's your temperature on that?
So I do think it's important to purge. However, if you don't feel ready to get rid of something for whatever reason, if there's something in your heart telling you it's not time, what I recommend is pulling it out of your everyday closet and either packing it away like in a plastic tote or putting it in another closet if you have that room in your home. And if you haven't thought about it for 6 months, a year, then okay, it's time.
Right? Oh my gosh, Michael makes so much fun of me. I still have costume boxes, like from college.
We all do.
Okay, right? So, and you know what? I was so proud. I'm like, see, Michael, this is why I keep it. Halloween, okay? We were going to a couple's Halloween party, and my friend Kristen was going to be Glinda from Wicked, and her dress was not going to come in time. And I was like, well, let me tell you what I have.
Yeah.
I have a light pink and gold tulle dress that I bought for my niece's fairy birthday X amount of years ago and kept in the costume box. And better believe it fit her perfectly, and she wore it, and it was amazing.
It was perfect.
Like, see?
Yeah, it comes in handy.
So costumes, I'm sure, are like in a whole different category, but that's a good point. Like if you're not missing it and or you feel compelled to keep it,
Yeah,
listen to that.
totally. I'm not
Okay.
one to like force you to get rid of things.
Yeah.
I do think it's important though to keep your closet with only the pieces that are functioning, like the things that you're wearing day to day.
Okay. What about I guess it's a space thing too, right?
Yeah,
Like some
totally.
of people like have the capacity to sort of seasonally have stuff out, put it away, put it back out, sort of, by season.
Yeah, I do like that. Just
You do?
because in my own personal closet, and also what I recommend for my clients, is you want to walk into your closet and feel like everything's an option. It makes getting dressed so much
100%.
easier.
We actually just did this with our daughters. I was talking to Nicole about it, and it was her idea. Great advice.
Yeah.
We were battling on the outfits. The girls have lots of opinions on the outfits.
Oh, I feel
And
you.
we finally were like, we're just going to literally donate everything that you don't want to wear so that every single thing in your closet is free game.
Perfect.
And it's been so great.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't we apply that to ourselves,
Exactly.
right? Genius. Genius. Love that. So the other thing that's interesting too about trends and styles and like, do I keep it, do I not, is the fact that fashion repeats itself, right?
Oh my goodness.
So like laughing out loud with Kendrick Lamar and these bootcut jeans, and everybody's like digging through the bootcut jean archives. But like seriously though, that's
Apparently
like
they
one
took-
like extreme example. But I'm just saying, like, right? I mean, what are your thoughts on that's gonna happen?
I know. I think so. If you have invested money into a piece, like whether it's designer or a higher price point, a high quality, like a natural fabric, not polyester.
Okay, I'm like, what do you mean by that? Okay.
Yeah, so like cotton, silk,
Yeah.
linen, wool.
Okay.
Those are all fabrics that are natural and going to last over time. I suggest keeping it and tucking it away. If it's something that has never worked for you, like let's say you spent too much money on it and you can't figure out how to wear it, one, I can help you with that to restyle. Or in that case, I say, if you're just over it, get rid of it.
yeah.
But an example is my grandma, who is someone that has incredible style, and I look up to her for that as well. She always carried the iconic Louis Vuitton Speedy bag, which is the bowling bag. And it's totally coming back. She actually gave me one, and I don't know where it is. I know, it's terrible. But I'm like, I think I probably just kind of like disregarded it, thinking it was dated or whatever.
Dated. I know.
Now,
See?
so that's just an example of don't go through the heartbreak that I went through.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just like to hang on to the treasures that you never know if it brings you joy and you like it, right?
Totally.
Love that. So splurge pieces. Let's talk that. We've kind of touched on this separately, but for somebody who is, trying to build their wardrobe on a budget, but enjoys high fashion pieces, luxury pieces, if they have the opportunity to splurge on a piece, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, absolutely. So I love a designer handbag. I think it can really elevate your outfit, but I recommend going for a classic, timeless silhouette. Don't buy the latest trend just because it's going to be out of style in a year, maybe even faster with how fast things move these days. Shoes are also a really great one. I feel like shoes don't have as much of a wow factor as a bag does. Another thing would be like an amazing jacket. So whatever your
a good one.
personal style is, it could be a cool leather jacket, a really amazing long wool coat. But that's when you want to tap into your 3 words, and then you would decide, okay, which jacket am I going to invest in?
Or you even mentioned for you that like sometimes a trouser, like a nice trouser would be something that you would want to possibly splurge on, right?
Totally. I love a trouser. So yes, that
Depends on your sort of priorities, right?
Right. And you can also start to tap into patterns of your day-to-day outfits. What are you wearing every day? If you're wearing a pair of jeans every day, but your jeans are from H&M, no, knock against H&M, but maybe it's time to invest in a more higher quality, better fit option.
Because honestly, a jean, like a good fitting jean, is like life changing, I feel.
Completely agree.
I remember kind of unrelated, but similar, when I was pregnant the first time. I was like, I'm not doing maternity pants. I'm going to just do regular clothes and do them oversized and all the things. And then I bought my first pair of maternity jeans, and I was like, this is why.
Right.
This is why. This is life changing.
Yes.
It was just much more comfortable.
Yeah, that's another thing I recommend for women, because a lot of my clients do come to me like right post-baby.
Postpartum, yeah.
And they're like, what do I do in this time? I'm trying to lose the weight. And I recommend, it doesn't have to be like $200, $300 jeans, but go to even Target and get some jeans that fit you really good, that you feel good in. Another example of this is get some bras that fit you during this time. Because if a dinner date pops up or drinks with the girlfriends or something, you want to be able to go into your closet and feel like, okay, I have a few options. Don't go break the bank, but you need to purchase some things to get you from point A to point B.
Love it. And that's relatable. I mean, whether you're postpartum and done having kids and you're trying to transition back to what your body might look like, or you might want to get pregnant again soon, right? That's really good advice. So let's talk, you're going through the closet edit process. You're going through finalizing pieces that you absolutely love, that you want to wear. You've done that. But I want to kind of explore the concept of a capsule wardrobe, because I would say in the last 5-ish years, I've become more familiar with the concept. We've worked together on, you helped me build my capsule wardrobe for fall, winter, and it has truly been life-changing. Like, I feel like it just makes getting dressed so much easier. You feel, to your point, you feel more confident. You can mix and match all the things, and it really doesn't matter because they all go together, and they're all within my colors. So, however you want to describe that, whether you want to start with the color process first or even what a capsule wardrobe is, I'll let you lead.
Perfect. So I'll start with the capsule wardrobe. So for those who aren't familiar with this concept, it's essentially 10 pieces, and this is my version of a capsule wardrobe. 10 pieces, 10 to 12 of your foundation, your wardrobe staples, your basics. And you want to make sure these pieces fit you impeccably. They match your 3 words or your personal style. And it's essentially, like I said, the foundation. So these pieces could include a t-shirt, a blouse, blazer, a jacket, a trouser, a pair of jeans. Actually, I recommend 2 pairs of jeans. And then a skirt and maybe a dress if you're a dress person. So this is the basics, and you can mix and match them in so many different ways. You know that you love the way they look and feel on you. If you're traveling, it's a great kind of system to use when you're going on vacation, because you're not packing a ton, yet you have a lot of versatility. And then sometimes when I talk about this, people look at me and they're like, what do you mean? That's all I can have in my wardrobe? Isn't that so boring? And it's like, no, that's not all you can have in your wardrobe. And we're going to spice it up with accessories and little statement pieces on top. So that's essentially the first step, or the foundation. And then from there, you can start to build on top of it. So if you, let's say, love the look of a leather pant, you can add in a leather pant. Let's say you're more feminine and a little bit of glam, you could add in like a sequins piece, and you're mixing that in.
Well, and I love what you've done on your social media, on Instagram, and in other presentations that we've done together, where you show like, here's the staples, right? Like, it could be a very simple denim jean, white t-shirt, and brown blazer or whatever. but the way you style it could be so many different looks. And that's obviously the beauty of working with you, because you can help people kind of bring that vision to life. Like, oh, I would have never thought to put that handbag with those sunglasses and that scarf or whatever, like that really can totally, I feel like, elevate a look or just completely change it, day to night sort of stuff.
Absolutely. It's all in the styling. There is so much power in that. And we don't have to have a ton of items in our closet to really get a unique, fun, and versatile wardrobe.
So we haven't even talked about this, but I'm curious what your thoughts are. What are your thoughts on like the whole like Rent the Runway or Nuuly, like the whole sort of cloud closet concept where you're not owning the pieces, you're, how it works. What are your thoughts?
I absolutely love that concept.
You do?
And the reason is I don't like investing in a gown, for example.
I know.
And wearing it one time. It just
know.
doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And also from like a waist perspective. I have also sold things on like Poshmark before, which
Have
I
you?
like to do.
Yeah.
But if Rent the Runway or Nuuly work for you, where we get into a little bit of a hiccup is if maybe you're not super tall and you need things hemmed. And maybe
Tailoring
your body isn't the perfect proportions and you want to get things tailored. It doesn't always work. But Rent the Runway does have petite sizes. So
I really love to, in the times that we've worked together, how you've kind of shown me how my clothes should fit. That's another thing I feel like is super important is I feel like I've been wearing the wrong size things. I've been wearing the wrong cut things. And just like something as simple as doing a pencil pant instead of a wide leg has been like a game changer.
Totally.
Where I don't know that I ever would have thought of that, and it's dressing to your body, dressing to your comfort level, dressing to your age, right? All those things.
Yeah. I think as we get older, we start to tap into those things, maybe naturally. When we're younger, it's like, oh, that's a cool thing to wear. You just don't really think about it. But it's so important, and it really can change everything. Like when you see celebrities or even influencers, and you're like, wow, that outfit looks like just really impeccable. It's probably because it's fitting them really well, and it's pressed really nicely. So those little tweaks can really make all the difference.
Love that. So what would you suggest for somebody that's considering a capsule wardrobe? Is it a seasonal thing? Is it an annual thing? How does that work?
Yeah, so I recommend 2 per year
Okay.
as your base. And then, so it would be fall and spring.
Okay.
For summer and winter, you can just kind of add on top. So for winter, we may add a few heavier sweaters. For summer, we're almost taking things away.
Love that. That makes total sense. And colors. Let's dive into colors. Because when you say spring, I'm immediately thinking pastels, florals, very Devil Wears Prada. I know. So cheesy, but so true. I mean, that's where the colors are going and the trends are going, right? So let's talk about kind of the cherry on top of your services, if you will, that I feel like kind of pulls everything together.
Rounds it out.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So that would be color analysis. So I have been doing color analysis now, for about 8 months. And it's been very popular, which is wonderful.
That's great.
Yeah. And essentially, you'll come to me and I ask that you wear no makeup, no jewelry, and we drape colors on you to see how your complexion reacts to the colors. And by the end of our session, you'll know which palette you are. So the 4 main palettes are the seasons: autumn, winter, spring, and summer. But there's also what we call flow palettes, which is a combination of them. So it's a total of 16 palettes that we're looking at.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have my booklet. I got my colors done with you. I'll show it to the camera after this because it's in my purse over there and I don't want to get up. But I am wearing one of my colors, so you should be proud. Also, black was like my go-to. I'm not exaggerating when I say half of my closet is black. So I share that because I feel like other people can relate, whether it's black or white or gray or whatever your comfort color is.
Totally.
What advice would you have for somebody that explores the color analysis that wants to incorporate color into their wardrobe, but black for me is not on my color palette?
Absolutely. So for black specifically, or if there's a color that you just, a comfort color like you said, I love that. What I recommend is you don't go home and throw all your black away. Day to day, if you want to wear black, if you feel like wearing black, wear it. However, if you have an important business meeting, a special event, it's your birthday, like
Yeah,
you
true.
want to glow, choose a color from your color palette. And we go through what your power colors are. So that would be probably the color you'd want to choose for something really important.
Which is so fascinating because things like red, for example, like how many parties do you have where you can wear red? Even Fresno State games, right? So many opportunities to wear red. And I was wearing the wrong red this whole
Yes, red is
or
a tough one.
trends, right? The whole oxblood red was very in this last fall.
Yep.
And I lean into that a little bit, but then I go get my colors done. I'm like, that's not at all part of my best red.
Right. Totally.
So just it's really interesting, I find.
Yeah, so little tweaks, like the right shade of red, like you said, can make all the difference. And what I find too is, because I'm even guilty of it, I don't wear a lot of color for special occasions, and I find it's because I feel too bright, or I feel like people are like, looking at me and drawing attention, and I don't necessarily want that. But the color analysis gives you the confidence to start trying new things.
100% agree. 100% agree. And then do some of your capsule wardrobes include color sometimes or more neutrals or?
If you're a color person, we can absolutely incorporate color. For the most part, the capsule wardrobe would be neutral, and I recommend that because it's just more versatile that way. And then we'll add color with the statement pieces, jewelry, bags, shoes, that kind of thing.
I love your look today. It's very chic, very mom's time out, giving all the chic sort of Western flair a little bit. Perfect. And it gives me like maximalist vibes in the best way. So would you say you personally, are you more of a maximalist or a minimalist like day to day?
Yeah, that's a tough question. So I am drawn to more minimal style, but I like to dress it up with the accessories. And we're actually heading into a more maximal trend. And people have come to me and they're like, what do? I have all these basic pieces in my wardrobe, and now things are going to be, we're going to see a lot of accessories. We're going to see chunky belts, oversized bags. It's going to be a little bit louder.
For when? Spring, summer?
Spring, yeah. So
Well, my question was going to be, what are the trends? So let's keep rolling with this. Okay,
Yeah.
what else?
So I was going to say, I personally love to draw inspiration from street style of Fashion Week. And we're just coming off of Paris Fashion Week, Copenhagen Fashion Week, and New York Fashion Week. So I like to look at what like the influencers or the tastemakers are wearing. And we saw maximalism everywhere. So you just use the pieces you have because your capsule wardrobe is timeless. They're not trendy. And then you're just going to add on top. And if you want to invest in like a really cool, fun, loud jacket, you do that.
Fun.
Yeah.
And then what about shoes? Like, is there anything that like is really like sticking out to you as far as a trend? The one thing I read recently, and maybe this is old, I don't know, but social media has a way of throwing it in your face. I don't even know the name of them, those Adidas sneakers that are colorful that everybody has, and now they launched the leopard print or whatever. Like, are those here to stay? What is like this shoe that like if I were to invest in like a fun, trendy shoe for the seasonal change, because I do feel like shoes are a key element of that. Denim can transfer, t-shirts can transfer. Most accessories can transfer to seasons, but shoes are sometimes a little tricky.
Yeah, totally. So I personally like to change out my shoes, but because it's an easy way to like add some flair to your look.
Yeah.
Sambas, the Adidas shoes
Thank you.
mentioned.
That's what they're called.
Yeah, no
I knew there was a
worries.
name. Yeah.
So they're a little bit overplayed now. Like everyone is wearing
I
them.
agree with you.
And if you are a person who wants to be ahead of the trend,
Tell us.
I recommend not wearing the traditional sambas.
Okay.
There's some evolutions of it, like the leopard print, which is completely sold out. I know because I tried to
I was
get
going
it.
to say, I feel like they're everywhere on my Insta. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I guess I
They're
need
like
these.
the black market. Yeah.
Yeah.
The black market, get them where you can sort of shoe. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's another thing. It's like you're seeing it everywhere, but that's when you really need to hone in. Like, is this me? And that particular shoe, I feel like, is me. So, anyways.
Yeah.
But that's how we can easily get lost with like all this noise.
Mm-hmm.
So sneakers are a big thing. I really don't see them going anywhere. At least I
Right.
hope they don't go anywhere as a busy mom running around all day.
I will say to piggyback on that, I find just perception of enjoying fashion and really kind of loving, exploring with outfits and whatnot. I feel like sneakers really elevated the whole, like became almost like acceptable in the work world when COVID hit.
Totally.
Like all of a sudden now you can wear a sneaker to work, which was like totally taboo and super cash. Like you literally wore a sneaker running errands or to the gym.
Yeah.
Now it's like you can wear a blazer with a sneaker. You can wear a trouser with a sneaker. You can literally wear a dress with a sneaker and have it be chic and cute and acceptable in the work world. So I think that's pretty amazing,
Yeah,
right? And to
same.
your point, I agree. I don't know that that's going to change anytime soon, right?
Yeah. I don't see it changing. People
Yeah.
like comfort.
Mm-hmm.
We're
And
never-
comfort, right? Like it's comfortable.
Yeah.
Hello.
We're never going to get too far from that.
Yeah.
But in general, more shoe trends is like a smaller kitten heel right
Okay.
now.
Like a sandal, a peep toe, a pump,
a pointed toe
pointed
pump.
toe pump.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we're
Okay.
seeing right now.
Love.
What else? Boots to the knee boots are a thing. So they've been a thing for a while, but they're not going anywhere. And I know this is your favorite topic, but we're going to start seeing a skinnier jean
Oh,
tucked
yeah.
into the boot.
Strong feelings about skinny jeans, which maybe you can change my mind. Maybe you'll tell me, Ray, actually, I think this cut, this style would look good on you. But I want to say never say never.
I know.
I don't know that will ever be something I explore again,
Trust me.
personally.
I
But
completely
a lot of
agree.
people do, and they look great.
Yeah, and we're not talking about like the second skin, like jeggings.
Like the
skinnies.
jeggings. I
Oh,
know.
if
Oh
those
my
ever
gosh.
come back, I don't even know what I'm going to do. But this is more of a slim cut.
Yeah. Love that. Okay. So one of my last questions here, who are some of your style icons or who do you maybe follow on social similarly for the same reasons, right? Like you feel inspired by their style, you want to emulate their style, you just kind of, I don't know, love them.
Absolutely love this question. So, in general, I think I mentioned my mom is a total style icon for me. She
sweet.
has such a unique style and she does not care about trends. She's the epitome of this feels good on me. I like this. I'm going to wear it. And I really respect that and try to emulate that.
Love that.
And then there's our classics like Audrey Hepburn, I absolutely love. She's so timeless, especially in Roman holiday. I'm Armenian, so Cher. I love a Cher moment.
I love
A little
it.
more of a glam.
I love it.
And then in terms of Instagram, we talked about Morgan Stewart already, Hailey Bieber, love them. I really love following people with a very strong point of view. One in particular comes to mind, which is Larissa Mills.
Okay.
If you don't follow her, you should. She's older, and when I say older, like probably in her 50s. But her style is just so unique
Like
and
unapologetic,
inspiring,
right?
Unapologetic.
Love.
And I love that. It's like
too.
you go be yourself. You know, that feels good on you. You wear it. There's a couple people I would consider educators on style. So that is Allison Bornstein. I mentioned her, the 3-word method. And then Amy Smilovic, who's from Tibby. She's the founder of the brand Tibby. She has a really unique way of thinking about getting dressed.
Yeah, very cool. Love those. I need to be following all of these people and pages. And your mom does always look chic. I mean, even at the soccer games, I was like, how do I get on Rhonda's level? Okay.
I know, right? She's so funny.
She's so cute.
She's the best.
Oh my gosh, Brooke, this was so fun. Thank you for sharing your expertise and bringing it to the Valley. I feel like you are such a breath of fresh air, and we're so lucky to have you and continue to watch the wardrobe department grow. So where can folks follow you online?
Absolutely. So right now I'm on Instagram. I dabble on TikTok, but I'm like, I'm a millennial. I
was going to say, you're a millennial mom. It's it's your security blanket. I get it.
Exactly. So at Wardrobe DEPT, so the abbreviation of department. And yeah, follow me there. And, if you're interested in learning more about my services, you can DM me. And
love it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm truly honored.
This is so fun. Gosh.
Love you.
Thank you. Love you. Cheers, friend.
Cheers.
Latte cheers. I think we probably got the same thing, hot and cold. So
love that.
Thanks. Thanks for listening. Feel free to rate and review this episode here and connect with us on Instagram if you have any thoughts, questions, or any guest suggestions. Thanks.